まだverbていません. Today, right off the bat, I'm going to jump straight to the conclusion of the video. When someone asks you, もうverb しましたか? Did you already verb? To say yes, you can simply say, もうverb しました. Just simple past tense is fine. But to say no, you shouldn't say, まだverb しませんでした. Instead, you need to use the negative ている form and say, まだverb していません. For example, もう昼ご飯を食べましたか? Did you already eat lunch? To say yes, you can say もう食べました. But to say no, don't say まだ食べませんでした. Instead, say まだ食べていません or まだ食べていないです is also fine. いないです and いません, they're pretty much the same thing. It's just a preference. Now, you might be wondering, can I use the ている form to say yes? Like もう食べています. The answer is, you can, but only in certain contexts. In most cases, もう食べました is more natural and common. And that's it. That's all you really need to know for today's lesson. For the rest of the video, I'll try to explain why you have to use ていません to say no. And when using ています to say yes sounds natural. It's going to be pretty advanced, and I'm not really sure if I can explain it well, so it's totally fine if you want to stop watching here. Alright, here goes nothing. First, I like to compare these two. 食べませんでした and 食べていません. Casually, 食べなかった and 食べていない. By the way, colloquially, we drop the い all the time. So just 食べてない and 食べてません. 食べませんでした simply means I didn't eat. You're saying you didn't perform the action of eating. But 食べていません, which is the negative form of ている, carries a bit more nuance. As we've learned, ている can express an ongoing action, a habitual action, or an ongoing result. And here, it's being used for the use of ongoing result. It means at first you were in a state of not having eaten, and you performed the action of eating, and you entered the state of having eaten, and the resulting state is still continuing now. But because 食べていません is the negative form, so it means I'm not in that state yet. I have not reached that state as of now. We speak like this, for example, when we want to, should, or intend to be in the post state. But we're still in the pre-state as of now. So basically, we say 食べていません when we want to eat, should eat, or intend to eat eventually, but haven't been able to do that yet for whatever reason, like maybe being too busy to have lunch or something. That's why ていません works very well together with まだ yet. On the other hand, we say 食べませんでした typically when we chose not to do the action, or have no intention of doing it later either. For example, もう昼ご飯を食べましたか? Did you already eat lunch? ダイエットをしてるから食べませんでした. Because I'm on a diet, I didn't eat. This is natural, because you actively chose not to eat, and you don't plan to eat later either. But まだ食べませんでした. This feels unnatural, because the word まだ or yet in English implies that the speaker expects the action to happen in the future, right? And that's exactly the sort of situation where we use the ていません. So we almost always say まだ食べていません rather than まだ食べませんでした. Next, let's compare the affirmative versions. 食べました versus 食べてます. Casually, 食べた and 食べてる. 食べました simply means I ate. I performed the action of eating. But 食べています indicates you ate at one point, and the resulting state is continuing now. So it basically means I ate, and I'm still in the resulting state. In most contexts, it sounds unnecessary and redundant, so simply saying 食べました is more natural. Now let's look at another verb, 開く, to open. With this one, using ている is very common because it actually serves a purpose. 開いています means it opened at one point and it's still in that state. This is how we say it's open in Japanese. But 開きました just means it opened. It only states that the action happened at some point. It doesn't specify whether it's still open or not. Maybe someone closed it afterwards. We don't know. But 開いています clarifies that it's still open right now. It's still in the resulting state. Using ている serves a purpose here. More examples. つける to turn on. 電気をつけました. I turned on the light. It doesn't specify if the light is still on or not. But 電気をつけています. This specifies that the light is on right now. 結婚する to marry. 結婚しました. I got married. Whether I'm still married or not is unclear. But 結婚しています means I got married and I'm still married now. I haven't divorced yet. 壊れる to break. 壊れました. It broke at some point. 壊れています. It is still broken now. It hasn't been fixed yet. It's still broken. So in a way, you could say that the simple past tense just states that the action happened in the past. The focus is on the action itself. The ている form, on the other hand, describes the present state. The focus is on the present state. So technically they're both verbs, but ている makes the verb behave like an adjective because it's essentially describing a state. So ている is really useful when you want to use a verb to describe the state of something. For example, 年を取る, it literally means take age. And this is how we say to get old. 年を取りました means I got old. The focus is on the action. But 年を取っています describes the present state. I'm in the state of having gotten old. So it basically means I'm old. Now let's go back to 食べる to eat. I said 食べました is usually more natural. But if you really want to focus on the state rather than the action, saying 食べている is acceptable and can be natural. For example, let's say you're talking with a friend about what to eat for lunch. Your friend suggests, カレーはどうですか? How about curry? You reply, すみません、カレーは昨日食べてますからちょっと. Sorry, I had curry yesterday, so, This is natural because you're focusing on your present state. You're in the state of having eaten curry recently, so you're not in the mood for it now. The focus is on the present state. 飲む to drink is another verb that's not commonly used with ている for the ongoing result usage. But お酒を飲んでいるから運転できないです. I can't drive because I've drunk alcohol. This is perfectly natural. Because again, the focus is on your current state. You're saying you're still in the state of having drunk alcohol. You're still drunk. 宿題をする to do homework. If I had a kid and saw them playing video games, I might ask them, もう宿題してるの? Or もう宿題やってるの? Have you already done your homework? I'm asking, are you already in the state of having finished your homework? Are you free of homework now? Are you in that state? It's natural because the focus is on the present state. But I want you to know that it's also totally fine not to use ている in these examples. using the simple past tense form is perfectly natural too. It's not like you have to use ている. Alright, that's all I wanted to explain today. I hope this helped you get a better grasp of what ている is and how we use it. And sorry for over-explaining everything as usual. But anyway, the most important takeaway from this lesson is when someone asks, もう verb しましたか? To say yes, just say もう verb しました. This is the most common way. You could also use the ている form, もう verb しています, if you want to focus on a present state. And to say no, don't say まだverb しませんでした. Instead, you should use the negative ている form and say まだ verb していません. Alright, 今日は以上です。今日も皆さんお疲れ様でした。最後まで動画を見てくれて本当にありがとうございます。じゃあまた次のビデオで会いましょう。じゃあまたね。バイバイ。